Psalm 37 is one of those Psalms that I'm sure if you're listening to this and you're a Christian, you are very familiar with it and you love it very much. It's so comforting. There's so much peace and reassurance and love from God built into this. Some great wisdom and warnings too. But there's one particular verse that I have a kind of a different take on that I really do hope it encourages you when you hear this take. It's Psalm 37, verse 4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. It's certainly a promise we want to be thinking about all the time, kind of just default to that mode. I'm going to delight myself in the Lord, and he'll give me my desires, right? But sometimes we come at it from a unique perspective that may not serve us best. What I want to do now is share with you the way I approach it. And I do hope it really does encourage you and kind of change your perspective about this verse forever. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. Boy, that opening to Psalm 37, verse 1, do not fret, it leads only to evil. Or be envious of those who do wrong. I just want to keep reading it. For like the grass, they will soon wither. Like green plants, they will soon die away. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So because of the work I do, naturally, I'm in our coaching sessions working through situations that have not always gone the way that we want them to, my clients specifically in this case. And what I have found is each time we have these discussions, God keeps putting this verse back in my head. It's kind of a new thing recently, the last 3 or 4 or 5 months. And I thought, it's probably time to do a YouTube video about this. When things don't go the way that we want, we can sometimes be unhappy, not at rest, discouraged, maybe in an extreme, depressed or very sad or angry. Now, we love the Lord, we fear the Lord, so we're not getting angry at him, but we aren't happy with what's going on. In fact, I did do a video, how to avoid Moby Dick syndrome, which I recommend very highly for those that are pursuing a goal, a specific goal, and are doing lots of activity. But ultimately, we really get focused on this thing that we want to turn out a certain way. It doesn't, and we get bothered by it. For some things, they're so big, the deal is such a huge part of our lives, we get really thrown off when God says no. Now, what I believe a way to look at this verse that can help us is to remember we are called first to take delight in the Lord, and he will give us the desires of our heart. What we do, I think, is swap those. I know I have. I'm going to delight myself in the Lord if he gives me the desires of my heart. And that is kind of what we get stuck into. All of us do it. It's backwards though. And I believe the wisdom and power behind this verse is that we want to look at whatever the outcomes are and take delight in them. When we have that kind of mindset, opportunities won't be obscured from our vision. We won't have a blocker. This negative energy when things don't work out for us, that's a blocker. That's one of the 4 fear, assumptions, interpretations, or limiting beliefs. And when we are in that mode, like, man, I can't believe this didn't work out. I put my whole heart in. God knew how much I wanted this, whatever. I do it, That's why it's so easy to come up with these, because we all go through this. In those moments, we're not delighted with the outcome. When we do, when we choose to delight ourselves, instead of being discouraged, what happens is we start to see what God is doing in our life. We start to look at, okay, what are my real desires? Maybe what God is doing is helping us realize that the thing I was looking at isn't going to fulfill me the way I really wanted it to. Or that, trust I had in a way a thing was going wasn't putting my trust in God. And if I kept down that path for years and years and years, it would end up in a much darker place down the road. And he knows that I desire to be with him. So he's preventing things from happening. I think this is incredibly important for us to understand. I think this is the wisdom behind that verse that's tucked neatly in there, Ecclesiastes 7:14. When times are good, be happy. When times are bad, consider God has made one as well as the other. Therefore, no one can discover anything about their future. The wisdom here is at the very anchor of the verse. If we can't discover what the future holds for us, we don't know if what's happening is good or bad. Just consider the future's not here yet. It's a waste of time trying to figure out if what's going on is good or bad. The only thing to do, the best thing to do, is to realize, God's got it. He's in control. It isn't us. So what we can focus on is delighting in him. One of those kind of weird questions I get every so often, and I don't mind it. It creates a great conversation, but it's frequent. Shawn, how can you focus on helping disciples of Jesus be more ambitious in their career and focus on making more money? Which is really not what I do at all. But if what you do, Shawn, creates an outcome where people are financially better off, how can you do that? Isn't that a lack of contentment? Isn't ambition saying, God, I don't like where I'm at? No. This is not what Philippians is teaching us, Philippians 4. The context of this and the power of understanding contentment is, as in my opinion at least, for you to consider, is as follows. Go do whatever you want to go do. Take the Lord with you. Commit your way to him. Rely on him, not on yourself. Get lots of advice, and then go be super ambitious. Then, whatever the outcome is, that's what we want to be content with. This links us back to Psalm 37:4. That passage, when Paul describes this contentment, he was talking about, I have learned to live with a lot and to learn to live with a little bit. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is really our calling, I believe, to focus so much on God, to be so delighted in the essence of his being, him knowing everything, being everywhere at once, being all powerful. When we focus on that, we can be delighted. In that state of mind, that godly delight, we will see what our true desires are. He will help them see us, and he'll help us find them. That's the calling. I really hope this blesses you. If you've gained additional insight into this that I've not shared in this video, please share it below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation, and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at Motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.